Hi everyone. So in the world in which gel printers exist, we use things like stencils and masks to add some interest to our stuff. And they're very different than one another, I believe. And I'm very familiar with stencils, but less familiar with masks. So what I did today was, well, actually I did it a couple of days ago, to be honest with you. I took a bunch of the digital papers that I have done historically for decades, and I gel printed on top of them using masks and occasionally stencils. And it took me a while to figure out how to get the result that I wanted, which is always a crapshoot when you're gel printing if you have any background in it. Anyways, that's the plan. If you'd like to watch me try to figure stuff out and create these, and I actually colored them in with oh-hoo-hoo markers last night while I was listening to conspiracy videos. So join me, please. See ya. Bye. So I've got this ginormous pile of papers that I've printed over the past couple of weeks while designing new stuff, and I'm going to try something. I'm going to try something kind of different. I'm going to try gel printing over these papers to see what happens when I put masks over them. Some of these are just, some of these are just the contact sheets. But I think these might be really interesting with some white masks on top of them, and see what it would be like to collage. Apparently I got a little overzealous on this one. See what it would be like to collage with some of these papers with shapes on top of them. So you can see there's a big variety. Because I've been experimenting like crazy, guys. I don't think that, yeah. I'm going to do this. I don't know about the talking part, but I'm going to dig out my masks. Hold on. Okay. I will show you guys what I'm thinking. I have no idea what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking I need to break up the digital part because I don't want to lose your interest. It's very interesting to me, but I don't want to lose you guys. So these are just some things that I've cut up myself that are interesting, and I'm going to put white paint over these. What's in here? I don't use these often enough to get really familiar with them. Those are some cutout things, more cutout things. Some stencils that I have that have a geometric background. Okay, feels like I should have more. I got to go back in. What I'm looking for, they're made on, I'll find you, hold on. Well, that was an exercise in futility because I just tore my entire studio apart looking for specific masks that I created by cutting out alphabets and saving the cutout part. They are nowhere to be found. However, I did find a bunch of other things. So let's just get started using what I can find, which I suspect is going to be something in this pile. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start here. It's not what I'm looking for, but you work with what you've got. Okay. I have to decide what camera view. Let me start this way, and if I end up getting off page too much, then I'll move. Okay, So I'm going to try not to be persnickety about this. I just want to experiment with something different. Just using Liquitex Basics paint. I'm using white because I love the way white covers things without completely covering it. And you'll see what I mean in a moment. Let me just take these unusual little cutout things and lay them down. Sometimes they get pieces of Friends stuck on them. Let's try that. And then, sure. Do that. This piece is going in. Okay, I'm going to grab I've got a little thing that I like to use as a Baron. Oh, I can actually find it. I rearranged my studio. I cleaned it up and organized it. Now I can't find anything. Okay. It does not cover it as much as I imagined. Maybe I want to reveal instead of try to cover. Let's see. Let's see what happens when I do this. This has still got quite a bit of paint left on here. I haven't gel printed in a while. I've been so mad scientist. I'm just going to go in and do this. Mad scientist, new product. Because I was a business person long before I called myself an artist. And all I ever did was work. And that does absolutely nothing. So, what I want to do, let me try Payne's Gray and see. Got to be willing to reevaluate if the plan you have in mind appears to not work. Here, let's do this. So if I take this, of course I'm not prepared, so let me just try to do it before it dries. What if I take, let me just try this. This is a total experiment, guys. Oh, squishy. I might have gotten skid marks. We'll see. I really wish I had those masks because they expose more than they hide. So, maybe what I'll do is just pull the rest of that on here. Okay. How do I do? Keep going. Don't be scared, Cherie. Don't be scared. All right, so let me just try this over. How about this? This botanical thing. Let's try it. Payne's Gray is not really very opaque either. Not what I had in mind. Not what I had in mind, because the masks that I want to use, which are very, very abstract, are not here. Okay, I should remember this about this pattern. When you pull it off, you get these little flowerlet things, which I'm not really a big fan of. Well, I do have to tell you that this is kind of cool. All right, I need a place. I need a place to work. Hold on, I got to put a place to dry. Okay. Let's pull the rest of this off with this sheet. You can see what's underneath it. There's some paint under there. Ooh, good amount of paint under there. How about, let's just see what happens with this. Grungy. Grungy, but I think what I'm liking, this is what I wanted to do with the white. I wanted to cover things up, but I chose a pattern that was too light in value to give me this. Look at how cool that looks with that pattern coming through. All right. Okay. I don't love that, so that's going to be a roll-off sheet. See this? This is when I was doing Rex Ray.
This could be a big problem because I'm going to lay this down and try to peel it off. I don't know. Should I do it? The last time I did it, no, don't do it. It left a million pieces. It left a million pieces. But I would like to make something like that out of Mylar. I have a friend who's offered to do that for me. Okay, let's try. Let's try. Here, let me take a look. Let me take a look at what I've got in here. I could try that. I could try these. Let's try this. Let's go dark. I think I'm going to just sloppy that on because sometimes sloppy is fun. Let's do that. Got this green thing. This is actually, I don't think I'm going to get the result I'm picturing in my mind. I would rather it covered everything except these openings. How do I get that? I am rusty. Let's try to take that up with this. I can definitely see why this is more interesting to watch because every single thing that you do is like a surprise. Very grungy. Very grungy. All right. I should like... Let me just try this. Oh. Well, you know what? It's not the worst thing. Let's try... Let's try these little round guys next in white because I've made this so dark. Let's see. White paint. It's chaos on my desk already. Come here, you. This is a very large pile of papers on my table here. See what happens to this guy, this dark thing. So I know I've been doing a lot of digital stuff because I have this giant library of stuff that I want to work with, and I've really been enjoying it. But, oh, looky what I did. Look at how pretty that is. Okay. Yeah. Just need to warm up. I'm just going to go over this. This is going to look really ratty, but we'll see what happens. So maybe what I can do is digitize some of these gel prints. See, that's, get rid of that white edge. That is a very interesting looking piece of papier. All right. What have I got that I can put you on? That just left a lot of grunge behind. Okay, so let's try. Let's go dark over that. I'm not even going to cover the whole back of it. I'm just going to do that. Okay. How about some of you guys? What's here? Little. Are they fishes or are they leaves? Let's. Oh, that's all stuck on there. That's not going to happen. Okay, what? Take this right back in and get these dark spots on here, which is not what I want. I want windows. Yeah, we'll see. Could be a surprise. Okay. Just going to pull that off. So one of the things that I've learned about myself as a designer, it's my default word, designer. I didn't use the word artist for a really long time, is that I can do color. Cool. I can do color, but I better do color digitally because I don't have to physically mix it. I've got some of this. I don't know if it's going to cover. I don't know how opaque it is. See what happens. No, I want the opposite. Too grungy. I will put that on top of this. Not because it's going to be pretty, just to remove it. You let that sit there for just a minute. Interesting to see that little bit of orange pop through there. What about these things? Just try it. White. These are my spirit people, my spirit beings. Spirit people are, that name has been co-opted by a complicated group. That's not for me. All right, let's take this, do that, and then do this. So cool with these little snippets coming through. Okay, I feel like I'm on to something to make these papers less, I don't know, digital. Let me just pull. I feel like I could turn that into something. This I don't, so let me just get this off of here with this. Okay. I don't know why this, but here we are. You got ready, but you didn't have anything in place. Let's just see what this turns it into. Let's try something like that and that. And, oh, here. What's in here? Stuck to everything. These are coffee can labels. And I don't love them because the paint peels off of them. Yeah, all right, here, just do it. Okay, we're gonna go in with this piece of coral. I think it's coral. I call it coral. Could be anything. Could be just seaweed. No. Let's pull this up with this piece of paper. Got a lot of blue on that. Let's get some. How do I get this off? I think I'm going to leave this on for a minute because I feel like there are people in my yard talking, and that means they're looking for me. BRB. No, not what I had in mind. So I'll just clean my brayer off on it and then grab the rest of that on this, which did not at all look like I wanted it to. Let me try pulling that off and see if I can get more. Raggedy sheet. Just put just a scooch of that in there and I get a gray. People. Pull up the rest of this paint. See what I get underneath it. How about, I'm just going to pull that up with this because there's nothing salvageable about that. What can I do with this? It's very ratty looking. This has actually got some pretty stuff showing through. Let that dry. This feels like it's going to be what happens if I let's do that. And that, and that, over this, because it's there. Very subtle. And just see what that does to this. These are just a mosh from all of the work I've been doing over the past couple of weeks. Just things I printed to see if they would work. Sometimes I can't tell if they work on the screen. I gotta print them to find out if they work in 3D. That quiets that down. Okay, let's try these little. Are they all stuck together before I start trying to poke? 100% all stuck together. Let's take this, put something dark over it. Okay, now take these little funny shaped things that are totally stuck together with really pretty colors. Come here, you. This is drying on my thing as I speak. All right, take that and put that on top of this. And if you'll notice, I'm not painting the whole page because I want the sort of the edge of it to be exposed so those colors don't completely go away. Let's see what happens. Way too much paint, which makes me want to do this. And dull it down. And give it another layer. Let's take the rest of it off on this. And get that off. And see what might become of these. Oh look, plain white paper. It's not plain, it's got a pattern on it, but I underestimated how subtle it would be. Okay, we got some grunge. Now I'm going to do white on top of this with those patterns as well, since they are right here. Well, that reads pretty. Okay, these things again on top of this garbagey looking thing. Well, that's fun. Got a little bit of yellow underneath it. Where'd that yellow come from? From the green? What about... I'll just put it on top of this. Where'd that yellow come from? That has to be... Oh, look it. It's from the back of one of the pieces. It already had yellow paint on it and it pulled it off. That's unexpected and fun. This is actually fun, just the way it is. It's got some exposed fun stuff that looky. I like it. Okay. Now, you're pretty. What would you like us to see? I'm so sad about my masks. Okay, I'm going to try this. Let's just do it. Don't be scared. Do something thin. Hold on. Some fluid medium to loosen it up. Yes, but no. Let's pull that off on here. Actually, I'm going to let this sit. Okay, I found this mask, which is not what I'm looking for, but I found it. So let's see what happens when I put white on top of that. And that's actually pretty. Need to clean this brayer off though. So I can get rid of that extra mushy. I should use less paint. Let's pull this off. It's a piece of shorthand from a shorthand book. Barely perceptible. A little bit of white left over. I don't know that that goes. It's not enough of anything, so let me just pull it with this. It's not enough of anything to save it for something else. Let's see what happens with these two. That's very thin white. It may not do what I want. Too smushy. See these little, that's got a name. I don't care for the look. It means that my paint is too much filler in it and not enough binder, not enough pigment. I think that's my interpretation. All right, that's off of there. That doesn't look like anything worth showing you. Okay, let's see what happens with a little bit of dark. Going on over this. So it might be interesting to see how some of these gel prints on these collages work with the digital papers. Try that. This is a very pretty piece of paper. Try that. Try this over this. So for those of you interested in the digital papers, here's another way to use them to step up your art game. Let's see. Because that is a very pretty paper and it has a really organic over digital kind of feel to it. Too raggedy. Some teal and some paint over this with a little bit of white. Oh look, I got these little strange masky, fork-looking things. Let's see what happens. Shall we? Sure, let's just do that. See what happens on top of this dark thing. Very dark. Very, very dark. So what were you actually thinking was going to happen there, Sure-E? Raggedy. I'll just put that right on top of this. Let's see what happens. I'm so surprised. I haven't been outside all day long.
And I took my sweater off because it was so warm in the house, and I threw my microphone on the floor with my sweater. So this is voiceover Cherie narrating the last few minutes of this video. So I'm pulling one of my last layers here, and I'm winding down, and look what I'm getting ready to do. I'm so sorry I did that. But it's a piece of paper, so I can make it again, but it was perfect just the way it was with a nice contrast. So what I've done right now is I'm just going through these papers to show you things that I'm interested in of what I've made. That's not so interesting. But there's a few in here. That has a nice background potential. Look at this with the contrast and the pattern showing around the edges. Same thing with this. These are not so hot. These are going back in. That has potential. So does that. That is okay. More subtle than I had in mind. More work. Definitely more work. More. And I don't mind that. I don't actually mind that either. Anyways. So that's what I did. I made all these papers. I gel printed for the first time in months, and I'm ready to call it a day. So thank you. Thanks for hanging out with me while I actually did some work. These are very ratty. Anyways, I like you. I like you guys. I like it that you keep coming back, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.